Hey spookers, Mr. Haunted here. Some of you may have noticed that I didn't upload last week, and that's because I got a cold while I was recording, and my voice did not sound good. So if my voice seems a bit off during the end of the video, it's because I'm getting over a cold, and on top of that, I also have allergies. I hope you enjoy this video, and with that being said, let's begin. Alright, so this occurred when I was 16, and because of what happened, I will never use social media again. It was getting near the end of the school year, which meant that we would have the summer off in a couple of weeks. It also meant that teachers would let the class have free time and rarely give out assignments. Anyway, I was in class sitting with my friends chatting as our teacher did give us free time. We were pretty much talking about all the things girls in high school would talk about. What we were doing over the summer, college, jobs, a car, and even graduation. As one of my friends was talking about how her boss just fired her from her job, I got a notification from Facebook on my phone. A username that I have never seen before sent me a friend request. Let me be as clear as I can. Getting friend requests from unknown users is no big surprise to me. What I would do is if I knew the person, I would accept their request and request to be their friend as well, but if I didn't know who they were, I would just accept the request or decline it. In this case, I didn't know who this person was, so I declined him. Just then, I received another notification on my phone from Facebook. It was the same username, and he sent me a direct message. It read something along the lines of, "Hey, you're really pretty. Would you like to chat?" I responded telling him that I didn't know who he was and apologized. Keep in mind, this guy looked to be about 40 and I was 18 at the time, so this was starting to become very creepy. My friends eventually wanted to see what I was up to, and so I showed them the chat. Two of my friends really didn't care, and the others said to just block him. I felt like blocking him wouldn't be the right thing to do at the time, so I just left it alone. When I got home, I received another notification on my phone from the same guy. He said that we will get to know each other and that we would start a quote romantic relationship. I was beyond creeped out at this point, and so I blocked him and thought it was over. I'd say not even 10 minutes later, I received another message from Facebook but with a different username. It read, "Why did you block me? I want to get to know you." I told him to leave me alone and that he was way too older than me, and that if he didn't stop that I would call the police and report him. He then started using profanity and making threats and that he was going to find me and kill me. I blocked him once again and called the cops, but of course they couldn't do anything since he really didn't commit a crime. I find that BS, but whatever. His account was also taken down, and even if the police could track him, I couldn't remember his username. About a week or so went by, and I was starting to forget about what happened. I just wanted to graduate high school and be done. But a few days later, I was home alone in my room on my computer when I heard my dogs barking at something. I went to go see what they were barking at. They were barking at something outside of the sliding glass door, but I couldn't see anything since it was dark out there. I looked a bit harder, and I could see someone standing in our yard, looking straight at me. He then took off running, and I never saw him again. I have no idea if whoever that was the person on Facebook, but I believe that it might have been. My name is Jonathan, and I was 16 years old when this happened. I had just gotten off from work and was driving home. I had worked for about 6 hours, so I was just looking forward to getting some sleep. When I got home, I received a notification from someone on Facebook. In my mind, I was going, "Ugh, no, not now." I was kinda annoyed and just wanted to get to bed, but I looked at my phone and someone had messaged me on Facebook. I looked at their account, and it was a girl who apparently attended the same university as me and was very attractive as well. We'll call her Alyssa. Alyssa had messaged me saying that she thought I seemed cool and that she wanted to chat with me. I typed back that I would love to chat, and even though I was tired, I still chatted for about an hour. We talked about school, work, and life. It turns out that she just so happened to live an hour away from me and then asked me if I would want to meet up at the park. I stupidly agreed. We planned to meet at the park around 2 p.m. So the next day rolls around and I was getting ready an hour earlier as the park we were meeting at was a bit far. So I got ready and hopped on my bike and rode it to the park. When I got there, I noticed a suspicious looking black car parked a few feet away from where I was. The windows were tinted, and I mean really tinted. I ignored it and messaged Alyssa and asked if she was here while sitting on my bike. She responded saying, "Yes, I'm right behind you." I turned around to see two men with masks running directly towards me. I cussed to myself and got on my bike and got out of there fast. I was sure that car was gonna follow me, but it thankfully didn't. I made it home safely and I deleted my Facebook account. I hope I never see Alyssa again. I was in middle school at the time, and I've spent a lot, and I mean a lot of time on the internet. Whether it would be on YouTube, social media, or any other website, I would mostly stick to the internet. One day, I was home checking through Facebook to see if I got any notifications. And I did. I had about 6 new notifications from some random user that had liked all my posts, commented on them, and they even direct messaged me. I'm not really sure whether it was a man or a woman, as their profile picture was that anonymous figure. But the username seemed that whoever this was a man. We'll call him Steve. Steve had liked all my posts, and his direct message to me was something along the lines of, "Hey, you're really pretty, would you want to hang out sometime?" My Facebook was public, so I knew that's how he knew what I looked like. Me being nice, responded back to Steve telling him that I would chat for a bit. He asked me for my age, and I didn't feel comfortable telling him my real age, so I lied and said that I was 17 when I was really 14. It seemed he had bought it, and he told me his age. He said he was 33. I was not expecting that, and immediately told him that it was inappropriate for me to be talking to a 33-year-old. Steve then typed, "Who cares? Age is just a number." I told him that I didn't want to talk to him anymore and that he should leave me alone. He immediately started saying that he would find me and take me with him and that he would treat me like a queen and that we would spend the rest of our lives together. He then started sending me pictures and videos of people getting hurt and that if I didn't go with him that he was going to hurt himself and that there was nothing anyone can do about it. I told him that he needs to stop and that I was going to block him. Expectedly, he continued and I then blocked him. I then decided I didn't want anything to do with Facebook anymore, and then I deleted my account. I didn't bother reporting his account, as Facebook didn't really take these things seriously. After that, I stayed away from the internet for a while. This story is told from the perspective of a female. This incident happened to both me and my friend. I was in class in school talking with my friend, we'll call her Maria. Maria and I were talking about a homework assignment for our other class. She had told me that she had the answers for the assignment, and so I asked if I could have her number. She said that she wasn't allowed to give her phone number out to people as her parents were overprotective of her, but that she would give me her Facebook so we can communicate that way. I accepted, and we got each other's accounts. When I got home, I waited about maybe an hour before I messaged Maria about the homework. When I messaged her, I almost immediately got a response from her saying, "Who is this?" I told her that it was her friend from class and that if I could have the answers for the homework assignment. She then typed something very unexpected. She typed, "Oh yeah, you could just come over to my house and I could give it to you." She then put in her address. Something didn't feel right to me. I ignored her for now and decided to wait until the next day to talk to her. The next day came around and I told Maria that I was sorry I couldn't come to her house. She had this confused look on her face, as if she didn't know what I was talking about. I showed her the conversation and she told me that she had lost her phone while walking home from school and that she was gonna get a new one soon. That meant that whoever I was talking to was not Maria. Social media can be dangerous. All it takes is for one person to claim that there's someone else when they're not to completely ruin your life. I say that because it's true, and my life was ruined. Well, almost. Let me explain. It was the summer of 2016, and my girlfriend had moved to Florida and had to stay behind in California. It was very sad to see her go, and we've been together for a few years, so you know the kind of pain I feel. Anyway, when she moved, I kinda just was being myself. I went to school, and I rarely talked to friends and stuck to the internet for most of the time. I eventually met this girl on Facebook that was really pretty. We'll call her Jessica. Jessica was very friendly. I mean, we started chatting every day and we both enjoyed talking to each other. It turns out she lived in the same state as I did and only 1 hour away. I knew that had to be pure luck. She asked to meet me and said I should go over to her house next Friday and that her parents were okay with it. I asked my parents about Jessica and going over to her house. They seemed okay with it, and when Friday came around, I got ready to drive over to her house. I arrived at the house around 8 o'clock. Red flags started going up when I realized that her house was the only house in the neighborhood with no lights on. It was actually kind of creepy, but I brushed it off thinking that her family didn't want to use a lot of electricity. I texted Jessica that I was in her driveway. There was no response. I got out of the car and made my way over to the front door. There was no doorbell, so I knocked. I then heard a man's voice from the other side of the door saying, "Hey, are you here to see Jessica?" I said yes. He then said, "Okay, just come around back, she's sitting in one of the chairs." Alarms start going off in my head, and something told me to go back to my car and drive away, but I stupidly ignored it. I slowly peeked around the corner to the backyard, and what I saw there almost made me scream. Sitting down in a chair was a man in a skull mask. The thing that was most horrifying was that he was holding a semi-automatic weapon. By some miracle, he didn't see me. I ran back to my car and drove all the way home and deleted my Facebook account. No more social media for me. I called the police, but I don't know what they did. If you're going to use social media, I highly recommend you be careful, because you do not know what will happen when you meet someone who claims to be someone else when they're not. I still wonder what would have happened if I turned and he saw me. I still don't know what his intentions were, but if he had a gun in his hands, chances are they weren't good.